Cool. So today we're going to talk about, or I'm going to talk about, well, your customers can be your best assets for lead generation. So quick bit of background, Perry's already said I work specifically on the startup team, and before I joined HubSpot I actually worked in a startup myself. Obviously now that I'm working with HubSpot it didn't work out and failed, so I actually still have the passion to work with startups because I want to make sure you guys don't make the same mistakes that I did. Before that, for my sins, I actually worked as an accountant. Very boring job. Hopefully I didn't offend any accountants in the room, but I got out of there straight away and now I'm working with HubSpot. So the agenda for me today, just 3 quick points to go through. So you're talking about your customer experience starts way before they ever purchase a product or service from you. I'm going to look through some of the touch points. How to ultimately control customer sentiment through social media, make sure people aren't leaving bad reviews and talking bad about you. And then ultimately, how do you leverage the customers you have today to get more customers in the future? So just by a quick show of hands, has everyone here in the room got paying customers for their company? Yes, most people. Okay. So for anyone who doesn't, I'll let you take notes. I'm not like Perry, so take notes for if and when you need this. So customer experience. So how many people here feel that their company has a 10 out of 10 customer experience? Usually there's at least one person who thinks it. Okay, how many people think it's kind of 7 and up? Okay, how many people it's 7 and below? Up to the rest of the room. Yeah, cool. So it goes similar to Dr. Shakshuka over here. I'm going to talk about a customer experience that I had, and it was actually the first time I ever came to Israel, Tel Aviv. So I booked through a German airline, Lufthansa. Has anyone ever flown with Lufthansa?
Yeah.
Right, let's not talk about it, okay? So I booked through Lufthansa. I got a text when I got to the airport that my flight was delayed an hour. So I was like, this is not like German people being inefficient. So I sat down in a room which, I don't know if you can blame me or the airline, I sat in a room which had no signal. So I got a text message 20 minutes later to say, your flight's back to the original time. Unbeknown to me, I did not know that the time was back on, so when I walked down to the gate, it was closed. I was like, why is there no one queuing up? So I walked up and my flight was already gone. I then began cursing at the girl. I was like, it's still there? And she's like, no, the gate's closed, so I couldn't get on the flight. So I ran back down I had to go back through everything, got back down and I checked there was a Lufthansa flight flying out 2 hours later. Got to reception, she said, no, you cannot get on that flight, it's fully booked. I went on to Skyscanner and I was like, there's 18 seats left on this flight. Again, all this kerfuffle. So eventually they would not let me get here and I was like, I have to get to Tel Aviv or Perry's not going to be happy. So ultimately I actually had to book through a different airline. So I flew through Air France. The whole way going to Air France, or before I left, I was on the phone giving out. I then found out when I got to Tel Aviv that my whole flights back were also cancelled. So to say I was not happy was an understatement, right? So I took to Twitter, I gave out Lufthansa left, right and centre, and they ultimately lost the customer because now I'm flying with Turkish Airlines. But really just to talk about that, that's just all about customer experience, and making sure that the customer experience is strong. That's a bad one. I will never ever fly with Lufthansa. I even kind of got happy yesterday when I was in Tel Aviv and the Germans got knocked out of the World Cup. So that was my own little dig back. Sorry to any Germans in the room, or that aren't even in the World Cup. So ultimately, I suppose when we think about when we're making purchasing decisions, what do we ultimately look for? So this is just a quick chart, I suppose, to look at the top things we look at when making purchasing decisions. Bad news, critique. You're at the bottom of the chart, so salespeople are the least likely to actually make a purchasing decision for you. Okay? The number one is actually word of mouth referrals. So if you think about a time that you went to a restaurant or visited a city or went to see a movie, you probably took the trust of someone that you like or is your friend or family member, and you just took them at face value because you trust them, they wouldn't steer you wrong. And ultimately you can make a decision whether or not the food was nice or whatever and go back. Ultimately, that word of mouth referral has become so important today in this world that we live in. We all look for social proof, and it's the reason why influencers are now so strong is because we see that other people are getting great experiences with these companies or these brands, but then we should expect to experience the same thing. So when we look at, I suppose, how do we make a great customer experience? And this is talking about kind of how the business model will impact your customer experience. So again, sorry Pratik, we're trying to cut out salespeople because they actually create friction in the sales process. Pratik will have a different opinion to that. Yeah. So within HubSpot, because as you've seen what Perry went through, is there's so many feature sets, so understanding how they all link up together actually requires a salesperson to explain that so you know what you're getting in for before you ever buy HubSpot. You go to the other end of the spectrum, things like AWS, MailChimp, it's very much a self-serve model. You can get set up straight away, you don't have to speak to probably a salesperson at all, and then if and when you need support, you can reach out and get some help and assistance through that. So really when you think about the business model and how customers begin purchasing off you, that also has a huge impact in the customer service. So for some products, for instance, with HubSpot, people just want to come in and pay for them. Like, I don't want to have to speak to Pratik or your salespeople, I just want to buy the product. So if and when someone reaches out, it's that friction because you have to wait till the salesperson's available when you actually want to get going today. They should be able to purchase today if I want it. So when we look across, I suppose, our brand touch points from a customer perspective, here are all like that. This is only some of them, there's probably loads more. So when you think of pre-purchase, we have our social media, our email, word of mouth, marketing, PR, promos, direct mail, there's tons of them. And you want to optimize at each different stage, at each different touch point, that the customer experience is positive and they're like, whoa, that brand really, if it's personalized or whatever the case may be, they really understand my needs or what I want to actually get from their company. From a purchasing perspective, we want to make sure if it's a salesperson's needed, that the salesperson isn't just telling you what you've already looked up on Google or what you already know, that they're actually adding value and kind of changing and educating your mindset to be like, how can I actually leverage this tool or how can I do sales and marketing better? And then finally, which is what I'm kind of focusing on today, is how does the post-purchase process come in? Like, are you running surveys to get feedback from your customers? Did they enjoy the sales experience? Did they enjoy their onboarding? Did they enjoy the first 3 months of using your product or service? Additionally, if you've got any loyalty programs, what's your customer service like? And we're going to jump on in just a minute is like, how do you manage customer service or customer support through social media? And again, we have another story coming up when I get to that bit. So this, I suppose, and I suppose to talk about, this is HubSpot brought out, I think Perry, you alluded to it, the conversations tool. So again, another story. How popular is reality TV in Israel? Okay, right. So I wouldn't be a big reality TV fan, but look, the week before I was coming out here, I forgot to pay the bill for the TV in the house. So we were cut off. So I got home, didn't tell the girlfriend that I was cut off. The reality TV show was live at 9 o'clock. I tried to get in touch with the provider. So first of all, I rang, got an automated phone, didn't answer my question. It actually told me then to go to chat. I had to go through the exact same process, explain to chat what my problem was. The chat told me to email them. I had to go through email, go through the exact same thing. So I had to tell my story 3 different times to ultimately get the results. Lucky the internet could stream that live show, or I was sleeping outside for that night. But ultimately what conversations does is, if I'm coming to you via chat or via email, it's all coming into the one inbox where someone can look up to see what did they say on email, what did they say on chat. Has someone created a ticket? What were the past conversations we had with this person? This makes sure that the person isn't constantly repeating themselves. They've already had a bad customer experience and now you're making it worse because they're repeating themselves over and over again. This will hopefully soon have social media as well. Currently it's just email, chat, and the contact timeline of the CRM. Next, again, I won't spend too much time on this because Perry kind of touched on it and talked about it. But the cool thing with chatbots is, think about a time when you look for Google, so you'll ask Google a question and it gives you a blog post, and you just see this wall of text that's going to take you 10 minutes to read. I know from my person, I'm impatient, so I'm like, I'm not reading that blog post. I'm going to the company's website, to their live chat. I want the answer now, I don't want it after 5 minutes of reading the blog post. So ultimately, with chatbots, you can create little snippets of when someone asks a question, you can answer it straight away, or you can create a knowledge base, like if it's API or integration questions, that if and when they say that buzzword or that keyword that brings up that question, the chatbot can answer it for you. Now, obviously, if the person still isn't happy, the chatbot can say we can create a ticket And again, similar to what Pratik said, we can create an SLA with the support team to reach out within 24 hours. So just reducing the human capital to answering questions that you can already automate because they come up so often, and maybe just some little tricky part of your product or service. But the chatbots can eliminate the amount of human capital you need to invest. Before I jump into social media, any questions? Yes?
Just on the thought, I mean, it's, yes, definitely in terms of how much we're going to invest. Okay, but what about the customer experience, wanting that face-to-face, wanting that communication, wanting that, not to have a salesperson sort of interrupt that, but to be able to have that conversation to close the deal?
Yeah, so within the chatbot feature, you can ask, so someone on the back end, whoever's online, if they say I want to speak to somebody, you can automate it down to a go and assign to someone on the back end, so it'll be a live human. But like you can, I remember when I was actually using live chat before we had chatbots, and like the third question asked was like, are you human? And it was like, yes. But I do get that some people don't want to talk to bots because they want someone to like kind of think more in depth about what the answer is that they're getting ultimately. So great question. Any other questions? Nope. Cool. I want to talk about social media and how customer sentiment on social media can be changed. So why do we think that people go to social media to give out their brands? Anyone? Well, I'll tell you why I go to social media to give out about brands. Because it's in a public forum. If I ring your support line, no one knows that I've spent an hour on your support line giving out and complaining about the service that I actually got. Whereas if I take to social media now, everyone knows that I had a bad customer experience, the review was bad, and you'll see in the stats that people actually react quite badly to that. So I'll give you a time when lots of times where I didn't pay bills obviously, so Tree every single month for some reason will not save my debit card details to their back end system. So the same day every month, it was yesterday, ring me to say your bill is overdue, will you pay it? So I've stopped answering the phone, but ultimately I took to Twitter to say like the customer service here is terrible. Every single month on the same day I get asked for my bill and I've saved my card details. And say within less than 5 minutes they reacted to it, they had deleted the tweet, but they had then got onto me straight away via phone to apologise. Now it still happens every month, so whoever works in billing doesn't talk to customer support, but on Twitter straight away they got onto me straight away, and then that tweet was taken down. But that's ultimately when you put something in a public forum, and the same with you guys, it is a risk for you guys that if something goes bad, to always be conscious that someone can take to a public forum. So I'd always advise companies not to set up on every single platform, because you don't need to be posting on every platform, but it may be a good idea to set up on every platform, so if and when someone wants to give out about you on Twitter, they can actually tag you, so it's like a warning for you that someone's giving out about you on Twitter. You may not use Twitter for anything other than that, but that's just a little tip that maybe worth that. There is also companies and apps out there like Mention. HubSpot has a social monitoring tool to see if and when you're mentioned across social media as well, good or bad. As we kind of talked through, you want to be social, you want to be monitoring your social media. As I said, if people can tag you or there's a way that you can get warning signs, there is companies and apps out there that will also help you to make sure that you ultimately know when someone's talking bad about you. When we see here, so the cost of being shown on social. So we can see just some of them. So less brand loyalty is only 23%, which is still a sizable chunk. The one that I'd be worried about is nearly 30% of people that if they see, so you can see there's loads of products and services probably that are similar or like yours. Okay, that's the reality of what it is. As a startup, there's so many companies competing for the same customers. So if someone's giving out about you guys or your companies on social media, there's a 30% chance that they'll skip over and go to a competitor who's not being talked bad about on social media. So these are stats from Sprout Social, so social media company. So 30% likely that you'll lose competition if someone's talking bad about you or leaving bad reviews about you on social versus your competitors who are not being talked bad about. Think about here when we want to get customer service, what are the avenues that we go to? So again, for people who want it loud in a public forum like myself, 34% go to social media, and so that's why brands are very reactive. We want to be proactive to make sure that we stop people taking to social to give out about us. The next two are your live chat and email. So when we have that unified inbox, or we can create tickets through emailing and chat, that's really key as well. So you can address it, as we said, with the SLA of 24 hours if your support team to nip it in the bud early. We still have the 1-800 numbers for the free phones, and then some people still like to come in store if you have a physical store to give out and throw the rattler out of the pram as well. So this here is ultimately what I talked about is our ticketing system. So if someone does have a problem and they feel that it's not answered by a chatbot, or they feel that it wasn't answered quickly on the phone, and maybe it's actually just a technical issue that you can't answer very quickly, you do have to maybe get an engineer or product team. HubSpot now, similar to the likes of Zendesk, or any using any Zendesk, is a ticketing system where you can obviously edit all these stages that are relevant to you, but you can see the high, medium, and low, and you can see any of the issues that have been created and flagged. Make sure that you can bring them through a smooth customer support service, to make sure that they're happy on the back end. And you can also send them a survey afterwards to see if the customer support was up to their standard. Any questions on social media before we jump into the final piece? I see a few heads nodding off. So the promise is only 5 minutes left. So how do we leverage our customers to get kind of more leads and create lead generation? The first one being is customer case studies. So I was actually doing office hours yesterday with some tech startups companies, and one of them was talking through that they had just secured a big bank. They were working with this big bank to kind of work through their product. It was their first customer, and so then I asked them, the next question was like, so how are you actually going out getting new customers? And he was talking always about warm introductions, leveraging my network. And I said, how do you get people that you don't know to actually take an interest in your product or service? He's like, oh, they don't really reply to my emails, so I don't bother. So I said to him, have you tried actually doing a case study on the bank you're currently working with and saying the reasons why they're working with you, the benefits to your platform and services? And now, instead of just reaching out with a cold email to say, hey, we can do X, Y, Z for your bank, you can say, here's a bank we're working with, they're a big bank, reputable bank, and here's the benefits they're seeing. People love to see validation that other companies are benefiting from your product or service, because everyone thinks, well, if they can do it, so can we. So case studies are huge. And another tool that we use very often, and Pratik, you can probably attest to this, is Vidyard. So for any use kind of reaching out with maybe a customer case study, there's an app out there, there's a good free version of it called Vidyard, and you can do little personalized snippets of yourself on the customer's website, giving them maybe tips and advice, or even just on the back end of how your product or service can help them. And that stands out hugely from just the same emails that they receive every day that your product or service is the next this, that, or the other. So check out Vidyard. It could be something that will get you ahead of the competition. These are just some stats that I pulled out, so I didn't do them, I got them off Google. So the people are 5 times more likely to visit your business or to actually do business with you with positive reviews online. So it's key to always maintain positive reviews. Vidyard, Vidyard. So 5.2 times more likely with positive reviews. Not all reviews are going to be positive, not all experiences will be great. The key thing is to react quickly to the negative ones to see if and how you can change ultimately their opinion or their view on you. 90% of customers are likely to also visit a website that has positive reviews, and people are likely to read, I know you read hundreds of Shakshuka reviews, people are likely to read in about 10 reviews to get a good feel for like what exactly the sentiment is towards a company. This slide got convoluted and thing. Initially, I suppose, with the customers, the key thing to, I suppose, keeping customers, and which HubSpot always focuses on, is product updates and educating your customers on how to do better with their product or service or with other product or service around them. It's not just about getting the initial sale, because ultimately we know how fast technology is changing, how quick. Even I think Gary Vee always says, anytime a platform is doing well from a marketing perspective, new marketers will ruin it and saturate it very early, so we'll have to move on to the next platform quickly. So making sure you're always in a bit of keeping up with the kind of the new techniques and methods. And then, as Pratik said, if you're keeping customer experience is positive, you can upsell, cross-sell, and continue to make money and retain these customers. I'm not going to be dead horse, but it's simply when you get a customer in, what's the first value, how do you grow the value, and then you keep the ongoing value. If you're working in a recurring revenue model, obviously the key thing is to make sure they're not churning and they're staying with you. The NPS is a good one, so I don't know if it's just Irish people, but anything 5 and above is a good NPS for an Irish person. For an American company, if it's not between 8 and 10, it's seen as 8 and 10 is seen as a promoter, 7 to 8 is seen as passive, and anything below 7 is seen as a detractor. So again, as I said, Irish people are probably a little bit more lenient, but with HubSpot, you can run feedback surveys. So you can run customer loyalty, customer support, and soon customer service surveys to see how good or how bad the customer experience or customer support service is within your company. And for anyone who feels that was a negative experience, you can reach out to them directly to see what the issue was and how you can resolve it before, again, they take the things like social media or they take the posting a bad review about you guys. Yes?
That's part of the sales, part of the ticketing.
So everything that I kind of talked through is the service hub, so the customer part. And the unified inbox, that will also be in the sales features as well. But yeah, everything I looked at was the service hub. So that's it from me. Thanks everybody.